With school behind you and a great new job in front of you, what more do you need? Oh, that's right, a place to live. And guess what? You found it and you are thrilled. Your new place is in a great location with a great view and at an affordable price. So what could go wrong? Well, hello there. Welcome back to another night filled with tales of terror. So how's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all getting ready to hear another creepy story. So tonight's video is all about a young woman named Laura Ramirez and everything that happened to her after she graduated college. She got herself a great job as an RN and found herself an awesome apartment to rent. We're going to hear about her story and about how everything started out so incredibly, but somewhere along the way, it just all started to go downhill and in a very creepy way. So before we get started, please click the like and subscribe buttons so that way YouTube will know to keep putting out content just like this for you. Now, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. Laura Ramirez was 26 when she completed a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and was on her way to beginning her career in the health profession. She said she felt fortunate and blessed. She'd always known she would become a nurse, and now she was on her way. After spending some time looking for a place to live that was close to work, she hit the jackpot. Along with her new job, Laura found an apartment in a great area overlooking the Catalina Channel, offering a bird's eye view of Catalina Island. The place was amazing, but she needed furniture beyond the bedroom furniture she took from her parents' home when she moved. With working 10-hour shifts 4 days a week, Laura used her time wisely, shopping at thrift stores and antique stores, garage sales, and estate sales. She was quickly putting together quite a lovely home for herself and looking forward to having her friends and family over for a housewarming party and more. Everything was coming along beautifully. Her apartment decor was eclectic with a warm, cozy feel that she swore was tangible. Every time she walked through the door, she felt as if she were being welcomed home. She said it was like the furniture itself were a living being happy to see her when she came inside. What's more is that her sleep was peaceful. She said her sleep was even better than when she was a child living at home with her mom, dad, and brothers. Of course, she thought that maybe it was because of the long hours of work, and then the long hours of putting her home together is why she was sleeping so deeply and so peacefully. But then this happened. Now, it wasn't necessarily scary what she saw when she entered her apartment. What scared her is how it got there. Did perhaps someone break in while she was at work? Did her landlord let himself in without telling her? And if he did, why would he leave her a single rose on her coffee table? Standing at her front door, she took her cell phone, found his name, and called him. When he answered, she asked him if he'd been at her apartment. He seemed genuinely surprised by the question and told her no. As a matter of fact, he and his wife were down in Temecula for a weekend getaway. She asked if anyone else might have a key to the apartment, and the answer was only he and his wife. After she hung up, she did a quick check around her small apartment to make sure she was alone, and she was. So she chalked up the single rose sitting on her table to the possibility that it had fallen from the small bouquet of flowers she'd picked up earlier in the week while buying groceries. Maybe it fell out and I mindlessly picked it up and set it on the table, she decided. That evening, after completing some paint touch-ups to her window frames and cabinets, she heated herself up a frozen dinner and poured herself a glass of wine. She ate her dinner while scrolling through her cell phone for entertainment. Earlier in the week, she'd gone online and ordered an entertainment system with television and speakers that were scheduled to arrive tomorrow for delivery and setup, so she was getting closer to the big reveal of her new home for her friends and family. That same night, after dinner, she decided she'd take a hot shower before going to bed. So, like usual, she turned on the shower and prepared herself to hop in once the water was ready. But as she turned to walk out of the bathroom to grab her PJs from her bedroom, she felt as if someone were inside the bathroom with her. But that feeling only lasted like a split second. It unnerved her, but she let it go because it was so fleeting. So she grabbed her PJs and strolled back into the bathroom, and with the water at the perfect temperature, she hopped in and began her shower. While she was shampooing her hair, she felt like someone was watching her. She rinsed her hair faster than she'd ever rinsed before and shut the water off. She pulled the shower curtain aside as she grabbed her towel, ready to scream, run, or fight, but there was no one there. She told herself she was too young to be going crazy, but she also said, "Please don't let my apartment be haunted. That's all I need." That night, she dreamed of a man standing in her room watching her as she slept. She said, though she didn't feel threatened or fearful, she did feel uneasy being watched. She also said she remembered she couldn't see his face, but she sensed an allure about him. Then she felt him sit beside her on her bed, and she woke up. She looked at the side of the bed where she felt him sitting, and she could swear there was an imprint of someone sitting there, but she wasn't sure and didn't want to make it into a thing, so she let it go. She lay back down in her bed and watched the sun rise through the light curtains in her bedroom. It was the first of her 3 days off from work, so she allowed herself the decadence of slipping back into sleep. She said she wasn't sure how long she had slept, but the sun had definitely risen and was shining brightly into her room. But that's not what woke her. It was a sickly sweet burning smell that got her out of bed. She looked around her apartment and everything was fine. So she went back into her room and there it was. A vanilla-scented candle next to her window. The sunlight was beaming through the glass and igniting the wick of the candle. This was unheard of to her. I mean, I guess it could happen, but she'd never seen it before. Later that day, Laura went about unpacking as the TV delivery man, Emmanuel, and his assistant Dave, she thinks his name was, showed up. Emmanuel was nice and professional. She actually thought he was kind of cute. He had a great smile. The other guy, Dave, she got a bad feeling from him. He looked at her, then around at her place as if he was taking inventory. She decided not to pay him too much attention. Maybe he was just having a bad day or something. After giving them instructions on where she wanted her television to go and where to run the internet cables, she went back to her unpacking while the two men got to work. Emmanuel sent Dave into Laura's bedroom where her laptop and Wi-Fi router were located so they could run the cable. This part is a little fuzzy for Laura. Turns out while Dave was inside her room, he may have gotten a little curious about Laura's purse that was sitting on the dresser. All she knows is that within the short time Dave was inside of her room, her purse was knocked to the floor, her wallet spilled out of her purse, and mysteriously opened. She and Emmanuel were both startled at the loud bang that came from her bedroom and watched with wide eyes as Dave came running out of the room, scared out of his mind, going on about her boyfriend being a psycho lunatic. Laura said that she and Emmanuel both saw that as Dave ran past them, he had a large bruise around his neck that looked like handprints. He refused to come back into her apartment unless her psycho boyfriend left. Laura looked around for this unknown guy that supposedly attacked Dave, but couldn't find anyone. That night as she slept, she had a dream. She said it was one of those dreams that would make a person blush. She said it was so real. It was too real to be a dream. But when she woke, she was alone in her room. This became a regular occurrence for Laura to the point she started to dread going to sleep. This in turn began to affect her performance at work. She was tired and making small mistakes to the point where she was put on a leave of absence, which devastated her. Upset and angry, she was going to cancel her upcoming housewarming party, but her friends and brothers suggested it was exactly what she needed to cheer herself up. And the party was a success. Friends and family were there with lots of food and drink. The music played and Laura found herself smiling, especially when she was introduced to Ramon, her brother's friend. After the party, Laura and Ramon exchanged numbers and planned to meet for coffee the next day. But in the morning, when it was time to leave so she could meet Ramon, her front door would not open. It was like it was jammed shut. She called her landlord, who came to check out the problem. Then she called Ramon to reschedule their coffee date. Turned out that, due to her living so close to the ocean and the high humidity that day, the wooden door swelled. That was also something that was weird. She'd heard of it before but never experienced it. That evening, Ramon showed up with some takeout and a bottle of wine. They spent the evening enjoying their dinner and conversation. After a few hours, Ramon said goodnight and left her for the evening, and no, there was no kiss goodnight, at least not yet. This was when things began to turn dark, and it went dark really fast. After saying goodnight, Laura noticed that sickly sweet smell again, so she ran into her room. The candle was burning, and the window was open, and the curtains were flowing just close enough to the flame that one caught on fire. Thinking quickly, Laura was able to put out the fire before any real damage could be done. This scared her. She knew she didn't like that candle. She thought for a second that maybe Ramon did in hopes of something, but she honestly didn't know what to think. That night as she slept, her dream stalker, she came to call him, was back, but his presence was not warm and loving this time. For the first time, she was scared. She said as she laid on her bed, she could feel a hot, angry energy swirling around the room. She said she felt as if she were spinning. She wanted to scream, but she couldn't. She struggled to open her eyes, and when she was finally able to, she saw the face of a man just inches from hers. She saw a palpable anger burning through his eyes. She screamed and sat up. She was alone. She practically fell out of her bed as she grabbed her cell phone. She wanted to call Ramon, but the time on her cell phone showed it was only 3 a.m, so she went to her living room and turned on the TV. She didn't go back to sleep that night. The following day, she called Ramon. She heard the phone ring and she heard him answer. After that, Laura said all she could hear was what sounded like a man wailing into the cell phone. It was so shocking, she threw her phone. It hit the kitchen window and shattered it. Looking outside her window, she could see her cell phone, but for whatever reason, she was too afraid to get it. Instead, she just stood there and cried. It was around 5:30 in the afternoon when Laura woke up to the sound of knocking. As she sat up, she realized she was in her bed. She was clutching her cell phone, and to her horror, she had bruises all over her body. She had no idea how she got into her bed or when she went outside to retrieve her cell phone or where the bruises came from. The knocking persisted, and when she opened her front door, she was relieved to see Ramon standing there looking a bit concerned for her. That's when she lost it. She broke down and told Ramon everything that had been happening to her. She was expecting him to hightail it out of there, but instead he suggested there might be a ghost or entity haunting her. That night he offered to stay the night there with her, but she said no. Instead, she asked if she could stay at his place. He said yes, and they spent the night researching and reaching out to paranormal investigators. The next day, she went home while Ramon went to work, and when she stepped inside her apartment, it looked like a tornado had swept through it. It was so bad that she said she ran out. A few days later, a psychic and her paranormal team came to check out the apartment. Immediately, the psychic felt a deep, draining suffocation and could tell that whatever was inside Laura's apartment was obsessed with her, and it wasn't going to go quietly, nor did it want anyone else near Laura. At her parents' house, Laura spoke with the priest who agreed to come and bless her apartment, which he did. But it only seemed to ramp up the activity to the point where she would either sleep at Ramon's or her parents' house. And this became too much. Laura decided to take a stand against whatever it was inside her home. Her final evening inside of her apartment, she had gathered her courage and demanded that whatever it was leave her, go away, and never come back. And that's when the sickly sweet smell came again, but this time it came with heat and the strong smell of fire. She saw that the curtains in her room were fully engulfed in flames. She ran out and called 911. The fire department got there just in time that the damage was easily repairable, but Laura was done. She refused to ever step foot in that place again, leaving everything she owned behind. Nowadays, she's back at work, living her life as normal as she can, and she and Ramon are now married. When she was asked if she felt the place was haunted to begin with, she said, "I can't put my finger on when it all started to happen, but I'm glad it's in my past." Well, what do you think? Do you think her apartment might have been haunted before she moved in? Or do you think it's possible that while she was out shopping at the different thrift stores, she bought something that possibly had some sort of attachment to it that turned around and attached itself to her? Either way, her experience was definitely a strange one. And if you're wondering if Laura's story is true or not true, yes, Laura's story is a work of fiction. However, I have heard of people who have gone through what Laura experienced in this story tonight. So with that said, it looks like it's about time to say goodbye, but before we do, please click the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't done so already. Send me a quick hello or goodbye in the comment section down below, and prepare for more tales of terror delivered to you right here at 3 a.m. So, until next time, stay safe and stay scary.